You're tired, and not just physically. There's a weight you carry, one that most people never see. You're constantly trying to hold things together. Be kind. Stay calm. Avoid arguments. Make sure no one feels uncomfortable. You've been told this is what it means to be a good person. But deep down, you're starting to wonder, at what cost? You've been led to believe that being kind, selfless, and understanding would lead to recognition, loyalty, and peace. But what if this belief is not only wrong, but dangerous? Niccolo Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Since childhood, you've been rewarded for being well-behaved, for smiling when you were hurting, for saying it's okay when it wasn't. Over time, you began to equate goodness with acceptance and acceptance with safety. But in the adult world, the rules change and no one tells you. How many times have you apologized when someone else was at fault? How often have you been taken advantage of and still told yourself they didn't mean it? You've played the role of the peacemaker, the understanding friend, the dependable one, yet you're the one who ends up depleted. Machiavelli once said, "He who seeks to be good all the time will come to ruin among the great number who are not good." Being kind in a world that rewards power and strategy is not just naive, it's a liability. There's a lie we've all been sold, that the world is fair, and if we act with integrity, people will reciprocate. But if you've lived long enough, you've seen this isn't always true. The loudest, not the wisest, often get heard. The boldest, not the kindest, often get ahead. That's because the world doesn't run on morality, it runs on leverage. Machiavelli said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand." Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Your intentions don't matter if your presence doesn't command respect. Being good is not enough. In many cases, it's exactly why you're overlooked. Let's be brutally honest. Pleasing everyone is exhausting. And worse, it's a trap. Because once you build your identity around being liked, you lose the freedom to say what you think, feel what you feel, and be who you really are. You become easy to control. You smile while swallowing resentment. You give and give and give until there's nothing left. Not because you're noble, but because you're afraid. As Machiavelli said, the promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Niceness often isn't virtue. It's fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of being disliked. Fear of not being enough. But being ruled by fear is no way to live. Look around you. Who holds the power? Who gets hurt? Are they the kindest people you know? Probably not. They're the ones who set boundaries. The ones who say no without flinching. The ones who know the value of their time, their presence, their energy. These are not cruel people, they are strategic. They understand that power is perception, influence is protection, and boundaries are not selfish, they're necessary. A wise prince should attract to himself capable men and give them the freedom to speak the truth to him. Machiavelli. The people who are respected are not always the most moral, but they know how to present strength, how to control their image, and how to protect their interests. True kindness isn't weakness, but when it's unconditional and boundless, when it lacks discernment, it becomes self-destruction. You forgive too quickly. You let things slide that shouldn't. You accept less than you deserve because you don't want to upset anyone. This isn't virtue, it's self-abandonment. Machiavelli said, "It is much safer to be feared than loved," because fear preserves you by a dread of punishment which never fails. When people know you'll never push back, they stop seeing you as an equal. You become a tool, convenient, replaceable, disposable. You weren't born trying to please everyone. That was taught to you. From early on, approval became currency. Praise for obedience, criticism for rebellion. So you learned to adapt, to smile even when it hurt, to comply even when it burned. But over time, this adaptation became your personality. Now you confuse silence with maturity. You confuse passivity with love. But the truth is, you've just become used to swallowing your voice. One who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. Machiavelli. Stop deceiving yourself. Your kindness is being weaponized against you. This isn't a call to become ruthless. It's a call to become whole. To stop letting others dictate your worth. To stop letting guilt keep you small. Here's how. Start setting boundaries. Not out of anger, but out of self-respect. Say no, calmly, clearly, and without apology. Observe who reacts negatively. They benefited from your silence. Stop seeking universal approval. You owe no one an explanation for your truth. Commit to authenticity. Not everyone will like the real you, but those who matter will. Machiavelli said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Be both, the thinker and the warrior. The heart and the armor, that's power. People often think they must choose between being kind and being strong. That's a false choice. You can be compassionate and powerful, empathetic and assertive, just and feared. The key is knowing when to be each, when to bend and when to stand firm, when to forgive and when to walk away. Machiavelli said, the ends justify the means, but those ends must be yours, not handed to you by someone else's expectations. Stop performing niceness. Start embodying strength. Let's stop pretending. People respect clarity, not compliance. People trust those who mean what they say, even if it stings. And people admire those who value themselves, because self-respect is magnetic. Machiavelli once said, a prince must be a great pretender and dissembler. In other words, master your image. Don't just react. Choose how you show up. Choose what you reveal. Be unreadable when needed and unforgettable when necessary. This is your moment. The moment where you choose between comfort and freedom, between playing nice and living fully, between being liked and being respected. You don't need to become cold, but you do need to stop being soft where life demands steel. You need to learn the strength of silence, the weight of a boundary, the power of presence. Machiavelli said, fortune is a woman, and if you want to control her, you must treat her roughly. It's time to stop waiting for permission. Stop hoping someone else will save you, because no one is coming, and no one will respect you more than you respect yourself. So here's the question. Do you want to be liked or do you want to be free? Let's talk in the comments. When was the moment you realized that being nice was slowly erasing you? What boundary did you finally set that changed everything? This conversation doesn't end here. It's just beginning. Because somewhere out there, someone else is living the same script. You might be the voice that helps them wake up. And if this resonated with you, there's a next step, a deeper dive, a sharper edge. Watch the next video. We're not done. We're just getting started.